Imagine being locked in a room for hours every day, listening to some strange language, say Chinese. You are told to copy all those symbols again and again without making any sense to you. How would you feel after one day, after 1 week, and after 1 month, and 1 year later? What if you're forced to do the same for 5 years? How do you feel? Let's see what's happening in our schools. Yes, a report says even after 5 years of schooling, nearly 50% of the children in grade 5 can't read a simple grade 2 text. So, what happened to those 5 years? How a child might have felt each and every day at school. Just imagine. Education, learning, and trauma are becoming synonyms. When we saw children undergoing this learning trauma, we were deeply disappointed, but this led to our exploration and discovery of joy of learning. Over 8 years of rigorous action research with kids in rural areas, we have developed Joyful English Foundational Literacy Kit based on Joyful Accelerated Acquisition of Language Framework. And we call it a JAAL framework. And this is one of its kind in India. In this Foundational Literacy Kit, you'll find Joyful English textbook, Joyful English assessment book, combined with their own JAAL pedagogy and scalable teacher training model, all at one place to get the learning outcomes. This foundation literacy kit is developed as a bridge course for children who are struggling on their reading journey to become fluent readers. It is designed keeping rural children in mind. This is meant mainly for primary age group, say first grade to fifth grade struggling readers. Over many years of action research with kids, we have constantly innovated many things in content, assessment, pedagogy, and teacher training. We got first discovered pedagogy, which gave us accelerated results. In order to help teachers in selecting content for acquisition, we prepared Joyful English Text. It is based on our 4C model for content. We believe that content should be comprehensible, compelling, contextual, and conversational. Coming to assessments, we designed based on brain switching principle as stated by James J. Asher. One of the key unique components of this are we have introduced listening assessments and made reading comprehension assessments more accurate. These assessments assess children's sub skills than memory. Similarly, we have constantly transformed our teacher training processes. In this process, we have discovered many integral techniques that integrate body, mind, and heart for language teaching, which accelerates the learning by 10x times. One of the unique features of this course is it addresses four different dimensions: emotional, critical, foundational, and functional literacy. It is just not about literacy, about reading and writing. It is about all the skills which are underlying and also uh, how we are going to apply this in real life. Then it will become complete. So it doesn't jump to the literacy aspect directly. First, it will address the emotional well being part by reducing the fear of learning and promoting joy of learning through various modes. Then we actually look at the skills or agencies that actually develop children learning capacity like prediction, guessing, higher order thinking skills, and lower order thinking skills. Once we develop these thinking skills, children naturally learn by themselves once we provide the right environment. So, in this way, the foundation literacy will be obtained in a more implicit way, and then they will go for real life applying of reading and writing aspects. And all these are possible in an effortless way because we are integrating body, mind, and heart in word and in principle. In, or- in order to develop functional literacy, we have included real life applications. We wanted students should be capable of reading and understanding in various contexts, be it in a hotel, bus stand, railway station, maps, or things like wrappers, everyday wrappers. And it's not just about reading and understanding the information on it. They need to develop a discretion whether it is appropriate for them or not. For that, these exercises will develop a critical literacy component built on functional and emotional literacy. In life, everything is integral. When we follow that integral model, children love that and get involved into that. Acquisition is similar to acquiring a new language. In a way, we all have learnt our mother tongue, where there are no grammar rules to memorize. We implicitly made connections about these rules and understood the language in a context. In order to implement it in a classroom, we have used various language acquisition tools like total physical response, which includes a lot of movement, fun, and natural comprehension. We have discovered and adapted many variations of TPR and successfully generated language outcomes. Here, what you see is listen and draw component, which is part of listening comprehension. We are bringing listening comprehension into mainstream assessment through these listen and draw, listen and write components. Scaffolded our Joyful English Bridge course into three levels. Each level focuses on certain basic skills based on our JAAL pedagogy or framework so that the child is comfortable in reading and writing at the end of the course. At each level, we are assessing their skills rather than memory. Key aspect here is we are shifting perspective on assessments from judging to assisting. If teacher is not conscious of a certain skill development in classrooms, it immediately reflects in their assessment. And this feedback helps teachers to focus on skills rather than content delivery. Through this feedback driven model, learning outcomes are assured. In our pedagogy, the most important thing is the content should make sense to the students. Even the basic sound letter mapping, also we bring it in a context so that the child is not disconnected. We follow implicit teaching practices, which makes teacher to speak in their target language, and the child should guess the meaning of it. Once the challenge is scaffolded properly, it generates a lot of fun with learning. One of the key discoveries in pedagogy is embedding the content in long term memory. We have developed few techniques through which we register the content in long term memories like muscle memory, emotional memory, logical memory, rhythmic memory, etc. Hence, the students are never bothered about exams. Brain switching storytelling shifts the content from right brain to left brain, that is, from comprehension to expression in an effortless way. This one thing that every teacher should master. Finally, our key approach is conscious, skill focused teaching, through which we'll get the learning outcomes. So, these are the important discoveries in the pedagogy to discover the joy of learning. Teacher upskilling is one of the most foundational aspect of any program. If this fails, everything fails. In this, we have made a few important innovations. Like we introduced teachers workbook, where they actually develop their uh, lesson plan during the teachers workshop. So it's not an information thing, but it's actually co-creation of lesson plans. And other thing is continuous skilling with help of assessments. So they need to get the skill in their classrooms, and who will be guiding them? The assessment for assistants will be guiding them. If they get deviated from their path, the assessments will tell them what are the skills they are missing. And again, they will be this feedback path will help teachers a lot in their upskilling. And we are planning to have online models for their reference. Just to address the question how our innovation solves the problem of foundation literacy in a holistical manner. We establish joyful classrooms first to reduce their fear and to promote the joy in them. And then we start focus on comprehension. This develops connection in them. It makes some sense, developing sense. Then once we start implicit instruction techniques, which they'll start guessing things, prediction, and all those things. And this will generate, you can see that intrinsic motivation for learning happening. The joy of learning starts, you can see clearly during this implicit instructions. And the cognitive flexibility develops when you start focusing on acquisition based methods. And once you start doing the subskill based assessments, you're actually shifting from memory based assessments. So the students have don't have to by heart anything, memorize anything. So the fear of exams is lost. And since the skill is developed, that too in a long term memory is used. So they don't have to fear of it. They don't have to fear for exams. And in this way, they are able to solve this critical problem in a more holistic way. And these results you can see for yourself. You can get long term retention, stress free exams, language acquisition, huge improvements in confidence and listening comprehension. There are many more. If you can see in the small picture we have taken, like initially the student was hesitant to write even few words in the initial assessment, and after 14 classes, he was able to write. He was able to attempt all the 20 words in dictation, partially correct, but he was able to write. He has got that confidence, and he has written one complete rhyme on his own. This shows how much improvement has been going just in 14 classes. It is possible. These are our action research centers where we constantly action research about various new innovative pedagogies, techniques, methods, and all those things. We thank all our partners who have been part of this journey at different phases of this particular project. Initially, it was Isa Emblem with Streamland Designs and Aravil, which supported a lot. Then Tata Chemicals came into the picture. Then Wipro Foundation uh, helped us a lot. Then we started collaborating with Ajim Premji University. And we also started collaborating with Agastya Foundation within our their project. The current foundation literacy kit is for English, and we're also developing Joyful Hindi. And this JAAL framework can be used for developing foundation literacy kit for any other language. We're also planning an online website for supporting teachers where they're able to see inspiring teaching models. Teaching model is one of the most robust way of teacher training, and we are planning for this, so it will be there. And coming to the app, we are also looking for developing an app for large scale assessments. Since the assessments for assistance will actually give the data on the sub skills of the child. Once it's done for large scale, the governments will get clearly the picture of what are the sub skills that are missing in the children. Through that, they can take necessary steps in teacher training. So this is one will be a key game changer. With this, we conclude that the JAL framework, Joyful Accelerated Acquisition of Language Framework, a practical and tested solution for foundational literacy issues. This framework shifts many things in the current system. It shifts from language learning to language acquisition, a memory assessment to skill assessment, the current focus on writing output to the focus on LSRW skills, the current focus on teaching alphabets to the language application, current focus of the being teachers as content delivers to action researchers. And few can go to the neural architects. Some can be human engineers too, depend upon their capacity. The framework allows them to be like that. So there is a huge gap in the NEP. There's no proper integral model available for NEP 2020 foundational issues, which can generate outcomes accordingly. So the JAAL framework is supposed to fulfill that gap, and we are working in this particular direction. Thank you.